First contact. In the vast expanse of the Milky Way, countless civilizations had risen and fallen, their histories etched into the cosmic tapestry. For millennia, the Galactic Confederation had maintained order among the stars, a collection of advanced species united by common goals and rigid societal structures. But in the outer spiral arm of the galaxy, on a small blue planet orbiting an unremarkable yellow star, something unprecedented was stirring. Senior Observer Zixtal of the Confederation's Exploratory Corps hovered silently above Earth, his cloaked vessel invisible to human detection systems. His large, multifaceted eyes blinked rapidly as he processed the data streaming across his neural interface. What he saw defied all expectations and threatened to upend everything the Confederation thought it knew about civilizational development. "This cannot be correct," Zixtal muttered, his antennae twitching nervously. "Run the analysis again, Ships A." The AI complied silently, and within moments, the results reappeared, unchanged. Zixtal's exoskeleton vibrated with agitation. In his centuries of exploration, he had never encountered anything like this. The Galactic Confederation, a collection of over 200 spacefaring species, had long ago concluded that advanced civilizations naturally trended towards demilitarization and unification. It was an accepted truth, an evolutionary constant. But Earth, designation Sol 3, defied all expectations. The planet was fragmented into hundreds of nation-states, many armed to the teeth. One nation in particular stood out, the United States of America. Its military capabilities alone rivaled those of entire sectors of Confederation space. "Impossible," Zixtal whispered, mandibles trembling. "How can they maintain such a force and still prosper?" The data showed thriving economies, technological innovation, and standards of living that matched or exceeded many Confederation worlds. It contradicted everything Zixtal thought he knew about societal evolution. Steeling himself, Zixtal initiated a transmission to Galactic Central. This discovery would shake the very foundations of Confederation philosophy. Grand Arbiter Loxara of the Galactic Confederation leaned back in her hover chair, her tentacles writhing in agitation as she addressed a hastily assembled High Council. The chamber, a vast amphitheater of gleaming crystal and pulsing bioluminescent surfaces, hummed with tension. "Esteemed colleagues," she began, her voice a melodious hum, "we face an unprecedented situation. Observer Zixtal's report on Sol 3, or Earth as the natives call it, presents us with a civilization that defies our understanding of galactic development." Holographic displays flickered to life around the circular chamber, showcasing images and data from Earth. The counselors murmured and clicked in a cacophony of alien languages as they absorbed the information. "As you can see," Loxara continued, "this Earth possesses a level of military might that we haven't encountered in millennia. That planet remains divided, yet they've achieved technological and economic prosperity that rivals our own." Councillor Drev, a crystalline being from the real system, chimed in. "This is absurd. How can a fragmented species maintain such power without destroying themselves?" "That," Loxara replied, "is the question that has thrown our societal models into chaos. But there's more." The display shifted, focusing on the nation known as the United States of America. This single nation possesses a military force capable of challenging entire sectors of our space. Their naval and air capabilities are, frankly, terrifying. The council chamber erupted into alarmed chatter. Loxara raised a tentacle for silence. "We must decide how to proceed. Our standard protocols for emerging civilizations clearly do not apply here. These humans represent a potential threat unlike any we've faced before." Councillor Elia, a gaseous entity contained within an ornate suit, spoke up. "We must prevent their expansion into space at all costs. Imagine if they were to spread their ideology of militarization." Murmurs of agreement rippled through the chamber. "Perhaps," interjected Councillor Jan, "an avian being with iridescent feathers, we are approaching this wrong. Their achievements are undeniable. We could learn from them, integrate their strengths into our own civilization. This suggestion was met with scoffs and dismissive gestures from many counselors. Loxara raised her tentacles, calling for order. Both perspectives have merit. We cannot ignore the potential threat, but neither can we dismiss the opportunities its discovery presents. She paused, her bioluminescent skin pulsing with thought. We will establish a containment protocol. No direct contact will be made. We'll restrict the sale of faster-than-light technology to Earth and closely monitor all interactions. Meanwhile, we'll send undercover observers to learn more about their society. The Council muttered in general agreement, though undercurrents of unease remained. As the session concluded, Loxara couldn't shake a feeling of foreboding. Humanity's existence challenged everything the Confederation thought it knew about civilizational development. And if there was one thing the Grand Arbiter had learned in her long life, it was that the unknown always carried both great danger and great opportunity. Captain Sarah Chen of the United States Space Force stood at the viewport of the U.S. Horizon, Earth's most advanced exploration vessel. The stars streaked by in ribbons of light as the ship cruised at faster-than-light speeds, a testament to humanity's newest technological marvel. Status report, XO, Chen ordered, her eyes fixed on the vast expanse before her. Commander Rahul Patel approached, tablet in hand. All systems nominal, Captain. We're on course to rendezvous with the Mars colony in 6 hours. Chen nodded, a small smile playing on her lips. Humanity's first extraterrestrial colony, established just 2 years ago, was thriving. It was a proud moment, but one tinged with an inexplicable sense of unease. Any unusual readings, she asked, trying to keep her tone casual. Patel hesitated. Well, there is one thing. Our long-range sensors have been picking up some anomalies, moments of distortion that don't match any known phenomena. Chen's eyes narrowed. This wasn't the first time she'd heard such reports. Show me. As Patel pulled up the data, neither of them noticed the shimmer of a cloaked ship observing them from a distance. On board the Confederation's stealth vessel, Whisper, observer Nix watched the human ship with growing concern. They're progressing faster than we anticipated, Nix reported to the holographic image of Grand Arbiter Loxara. Their FTL technology is crude by our standards, but they're refining it at an alarming rate. Loxara's tentacles writhed in agitation. This is troubling news, observer. Our containment efforts are clearly insufficient. There's more, Nix continued. We've detected signs that they're beginning to notice our presence. Their sensors are becoming more sophisticated. The Grand Arbiter fell silent for a moment, her bioluminescent skin pulsing with thought. We must accelerate our plans, intensify our efforts to disrupt their supply chains, and initiate Protocol Omega. Nix's compound eyes widened. Are you certain? That's a drastic step. We have no choice, Loxara replied gravely. The humans must be contained, for the good of the galaxy. As the transmission ended, Nix felt a twinge of unease. Protocol Omega involved direct sabotage, a significant escalation from their previous passive observation and subtle interference. Back on Earth, in the underground bunker of USS headquarters, General Marcus Donovan pored over reports from across human space. Something wasn't adding up. Colonel Hayes, he called out, bring up the incident reports from the last 6 months. A holographic display flickered to life, showing a map of human-controlled space dotted with red markers. There's a pattern here, Donovan mused, his weathered face creased in concentration. These accidents and malfunctions, they're too convenient, too focused on key infrastructure and supply lines. Colonel Samantha Hayes nodded grimly. You think we're under attack, sir? I think, Donovan replied slowly, that we're not alone out here. And someone doesn't want us expanding further into space. Just then, an alert blared through the command center. Hayes rushed to a console, her face paling as she read the incoming transmission. So, we've lost contact with the Mars colony. The U.S. Horizon reports massive electromagnetic interference in the system. Donovan's jaw clenched. It started, he muttered. Sound General Quarters. I need to speak with the President immediately. As alarms blared and personnel rushed to battle stations, a new era in human history was dawning. One where humanity would have to fight for its place among the stars. In the depths of space, aboard the Confederation flagship Celestial Guardian, a covert meeting was taking place. Representatives from various alien races had gathered, united in their concern over the human situation. The containment is failing, hissed Sirich, a serpentine being from a Hyperion cluster. These humans, they adapt too quickly, push too hard. We must take more decisive action. Counselor John, the avian being who had earlier advocated for learning from humanity, ruffled his feathers in agitation. And risk open war. We've seen their military capabilities. A direct conflict could devastate half the galaxy. Perhaps, interjected a new voice, there is another way. All eyes turned to the speaker, a tall, ethereal being known as Ilara, representative of the enigmatic Lumina Collective. The Lumina were known for their neutrality and wisdom, rarely involving themselves in Confederation politics. We've observed the humans in secret, Ilara continued, her voice melodious yet filled with gravity. Their society is built on principles of freedom and self-determination. These values resonate with many across the galaxy, even among your own populations. A murmur rippled through the gathering. It was an uncomfortable truth many had been avoiding. Instead of containment, Ilara proposed, we should consider engagement. Controlled, careful, but direct. We may find that humanity has more to offer the galaxy than we've assumed. The room erupted into heated debate. Some, like Sirich, advocated for stricter measures. Others, swayed by Ilara's words, began to consider the possibilities of cooperation. As the arguments raged, none noticed the small drone hovering in a shadowy corner of the room, a human-made device that had hitched a ride on an unsuspecting alien vessel. Back on Earth, in a top-secret facility, intelligence officers listened intently to the translated alien deliberations, realizing for the first time the true scale of the cosmic community they were on the brink of joining, whether they were welcome or not. The containment of humanity was failing, not through force of arms, but through the power of ideas. As news of Earth and its freedoms spread in whispers across the galaxy, a tide was rising that would reshape the cosmic order. The next moves made by both humanity and the Galactic Confederation would determine the fate of countless worlds. In the vastness of space, the stage was set for a confrontation that would echo across the stars, the cosmic uprising. The dingy corridors of Space Station Omega-9, a remote outpost on the fringes of Confederation space, buzzed with an unusual energy. Beings of various species huddled in corners, speaking in hushed tones. Eyes darted nervously, watching for any sign of official presence. In one shadowy alcove, a hooded figure addressed a small, diverse group. The humans offer freedom, the figure whispered, voice filled with hope and desperation. No castes, no enforced roles, a chance to choose our own destinies. A tentacled being shifted nervously. But how can we reach them? The Confederation patrols. There are ways, the hooded figure assured. Ships leave tonight. Spread the word, but cautiously. Freedom awaits on Earth. As the group dispersed, none noticed the small spherical drone hovering silently in a dark corner, its sensors recording everything. Admiral Sarah Chen paced the bridge of the U.S. Horizon, now transformed into a mobile command center at the edge of human space. Holographic displays showed a staggering sight. Hundreds of alien vessels of various sizes and designs approaching human territory. Status report, Chen barked, her voice tense. Commander Rahul Potel responded quickly. They're not responding to hails, Admiral, but they're not showing any signs of aggression either. Many appear to be civilian craft, some in poor condition. Chen's brow furrowed. This was unprecedented. Any signs of Confederation military vessels? Negative, Admiral. but we're detecting numerous small skirmishes at the edge of our sensor range. It's as if they're running from something. Before Chen could respond, a new alert blared. A young ensign called out, "Admiral, we're receiving a transmission. It's being broadcast on all frequencies, in multiple languages, including Earth Standard." On screen, Chen ordered. The main view screen flickered to life, showing a diverse group of alien beings. Their spokesperson, a tall, willowy creature with iridescent skin, began to speak. "People of Earth, we come seeking refuge. We have heard of your world, of your ideals of freedom and self-determination. Our own societies offer us no such choices. We ask for sanctuary, for a chance to live as you do. We bring knowledge, skills, and the willingness to work alongside you. Please do not turn us away." The message repeated in various alien languages. Chen stood in stunned silence, the implications of this moment washing over her. Humanity, still grappling with its own place in the cosmos, was suddenly faced with a monumental decision. "Get me Earth Command," she finally said, her voice barely above a whisper. "And the President. They need to see this. Now." In the opulent chambers of the Galactic Confederation's central world, pandemonium reigned. Councillors from hundreds of species argued vehemently, their voices rising in a cacophony of alien languages. Grand Arbiter Loxaura struggled to maintain order. "Please, esteemed colleagues, we must approach this crisis rationally." Councillor Surich's voice cut through the din. "Rationally? Millions are fleeing towards human space. Our own people, abandoning centuries of order and stability for what? Some human notion of freedom." "Perhaps," interjected Councillor Jan, "we should be asking why they flee, rather than how to stop them." The debate raged on, but a subtle shift was occurring. More voices were beginning to question the long-held beliefs of the Confederation. The ideals that had seemed immutable for millennia were suddenly under scrutiny. In a quiet corner, Observer Nix conferred quietly with Ilara of the Lumina Collective. "This is more than we anticipated," Nix admitted. "The spread of human ideals, it's like a wildfire." Ilara's luminous eyes seemed to peer into the future. "Change was inevitable," she said softly. "The question now is whether it will come through understanding or conflict." Back on Earth in the Oval Office, President Kira Espinosa stood before a bank of screens, each showing leaders from various nations. The atmosphere was tense, filled with a mix of excitement, fear, and uncertainty. "We stand at a crossroads," Espinosa began, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. "What we decide here will shape not just the future of humanity, but potentially that of countless other species." She paused, looking at each leader in turn. "We have always wondered if we were alone in the universe. Now we know we are not. And more than that, we find that our values, our beliefs in freedom and self-determination, resonate across the stars." Murmurs of agreement and concern rippled through the gathered leaders. "I propose," Espinosa continued, "that we open our arms to these refugees. We offer them sanctuary, and in return, we gain allies, knowledge, and a chance to shape a more just galaxy." Debates erupted. Concerns about resources, security, and the potential for conflict with the Confederation were raised. But as discussions continued, a consensus began to form. Humanity, despite its own divisions, was uniting in the face of this cosmic challenge. As the meeting concluded, President Espinosa turned to her Chief of Staff. "Prepare a global address," she said, her voice filled with determination. "And get me Admiral Chen. We have a lot of work to do." Across the galaxy, on countless worlds, beings of all shapes and sizes huddled around communication devices. They listened in secret to broadcasts from Earth, hearts and minds, opening to new possibilities. In hidden shipyards, vessels were being prepared. In quiet meetings, plans were being made. A great migration was underway, one that would reshape the very fabric of galactic society. And at the center of it all was humanity, standing on the precipice of a new era. The Contained had become the catalyst, their ideas spreading faster than any fleet or edict could hope to stop. As millions of alien refugees approached human space, and the Galactic Confederation grappled with the unraveling of its long-held order, one thing became clear: the galaxy would never be the same again. The stage was set for a confrontation that would determine the future of countless species, and humanity, for better or worse, found itself at the heart of this cosmic revolution. In the vast emptiness of space, at the edge of human-controlled territory, a lone scout ship drifted silently. Its sensors probed the darkness, watching for any sign of Confederation movement. Aboard, a mixed crew of humans and alien refugees worked in harmony. Their backgrounds were diverse, their species varied, but their purpose was singular: to stand as the first line of defense for their adopted home. As they maintained their vigilant watch, none could shake the feeling that they were living through the calm before the storm. The galaxy held its breath, waiting to see whether this clash of ideologies would be resolved through diplomacy or decided in the crucible of war. On countless worlds, in secret meetings and public forums, in the hearts and minds of beings across the cosmos, a question echoed: what would happen when the unstoppable force of human determination met the immovable object of Confederation order? The answer, for better or worse, would soon reveal itself among the stars. The Quantum Rebellion, the crystalline spires of New Terra, Earth's first exoplanetary colony, gleamed in the light of twin suns. Once a barren rock, the planet now teemed with life, both human and alien. In the bustling market square, a holographic display flickered to life, drawing a diverse crowd. President Kira Espinosa's image materialized, her expression grave. Citizens of the United Earth Alliance, our sensors have detected a massive Confederation fleet approaching the Orion Arm. Their intentions are unknown, but we must be prepared for any outcome. As murmurs rippled through the crowd, the camera panned out to reveal an unexpected sight. Standing beside Espinosa was a tall, ethereal being, Ilara of the Lumina Collective. Greetings, beings of Earth and beyond. Ilara's melodious voice resonated. I come as an emissary of peace. The Lumina have long observed your species, and we believe you hold the key to a new galactic order, one built on freedom and self-determination. The announcement sent shockwaves across human space and beyond. On countless worlds, beings who had only dreamed of freedom felt a spark of hope ignite. Deep within the bowels of the U.S. Prometheus, Earth's most advanced warship, Dr. Eiko Nakamura hunched over a pulsing orb of energy. Sweat beaded on her brow as she manipulated quantum strings with her mind, interfacing directly with the ship's experimental drive. The quantum entanglement is holding, she reported, her voice strained. But I'm detecting anomalies in the subspace field. Admiral Chen's voice crackled over the comms. We need that drive operational, Doctor. The fate of humanity might depend on it. As Nakamura worked, reality itself seemed to warp around the Prometheus. The ship wasn't just traveling through space, it was bending the fabric of the cosmos. In a hidden rebel base on the desert world of Zephyria Prime, leaders from various alien races gathered in secret. Some were former Confederation citizens, others from neutral worlds. All were united in their support for the human cause. Kexley, a towering insectoid being, addressed the assembled group. Our operatives report that the Confederation military is preparing for a major offensive. If they strike at Earth, countless innocent lives, human and refugee alike, will be lost. Murmurs of concern rippled through the gathering. We cannot stand idly by, Kexley continued. I propose we form an alliance, a united front to stand with humanity against Confederation aggression. Zara, a lithe, feathered being, spoke up. But how can we hope to stand against the might of the Confederation fleet? A holographic projection flickered to life, showing a masked figure, the leader of an underground resistance movement within Confederation space. We have more allies than you know, the figure said, voice distorted. Should conflict erupt, the Confederation will find enemies not just at their borders, but within their very hearts. As plans were made and alliances forged, a sense of hope began to grow. The galaxy was changing, and these beings, once subjects of an immutable order, were taking an active role in shaping their destiny. On the Confederation capital world of Axiom Prime, Grand Arbiter Loxara stood before the High Council, her bioluminescent skin pulsing with agitation. "Esteemed colleagues," she began, "we face a crisis unlike any in our history. The human contagion spreads unchecked. Billions flee towards Earth space, abandoning our way of life for the promise of so-called freedom." Holograms flickered around the chamber, showing scenes of chaos across Confederation space. Riots on once peaceful worlds, mass exoduses, military defections. "We must act decisively," Loxara continued. "I propose we implement the Omega Protocol." Gasps echoed through the chamber. The Omega Protocol was a theoretical last resort, never before activated in the Confederation's long history. Councillor Drev, the crystalline being, spoke up. But the Omega Protocol, it would mean the complete restructuring of space-time in a localized area. Loxara finished. "Yes, we would effectively quarantine Earth and its surrounding systems in a pocket universe, cut off from the rest of the galaxy." Silence fell over the council as the implications sank in. "It's drastic," Loxara admitted, "but it may be our only choice to preserve our way of life." As the council debated, none noticed the small Earth-made drone hovering silently in the shadows, transmitting everything back to human intelligence. In low Earth orbit, the massive form of the Archangel station hung against the starry backdrop. Part defensive platform, part refugee processing center, it had become a symbol of humanity's new role in the galaxy. In the station's central command hub, President Espinosa stood with Admiral Chen and Ilara of the Lumina, watching a holographic representation of the approaching Confederation fleet. "They'll be here within 48 hours, Chen reported grimly. Espinosa's jaw tightened. "And the Prometheus?" Dr. Nakamura reports the quantum drive is operational, but untested at this scale. Ilara's luminous eyes seem to peer into realms beyond human perception. "There's more at stake here than just this conflict," she said softly. "The choices made in the coming days will echo across dimensions, shaping the very fabric of reality." Espinosa turned to the Lumina emissary. "You've hinted at this before. What aren't you telling us?" Before Ilara could respond, alarms blared throughout the station. On the holographic display, space itself seemed to ripple and distort around the Confederation fleet. "By the cosmic core," Ilara breathed, her ethereal form trembling. "They're activating the Omega Protocol. They mean to seal off this entire sector of space." As the implications sank in, Espinosa's expression hardened with determination. "Then we have no choice. Admiral, deploy the Prometheus. Dr. Nakamura's quantum drive is our only hope." "And if it fails?" Chen asked, voicing the fear they all felt. Espinosa's gaze swept over the assembled leaders, human, Lumina, and the countless refugee species that had thrown their lot in with Earth. "Then we face our destiny together," she declared, "united not by borders or biology, but by a shared dream of freedom. Whatever comes, we will meet it as one people, the first true citizens of the cosmos." As orders were relayed and ships moved into position, the fate of not just humanity, but countless species across the galaxy hung in the balance. The quantum rebellion was about to face its greatest test, and the outcome would reshape the very nature of reality itself. In the vast tapestry of the cosmos, a new pattern was emerging, one woven with threads of human determination, alien hope, and the unpredictable strands of quantum possibility. The next few hours would determine whether this new cosmic fabric would hold or unravel in the face of the Confederation's desperate gambit. The stage was set for a confrontation that would echo across dimensions, and at its heart stood humanity, no longer contained, but catalysts for a revolution that defied the very laws of physics. As the Prometheus prepared to challenge the Omega Protocol with its experimental quantum drive, Beings across the galaxy held their breath. The next chapter in cosmic history was about to be written, and its first words would be penned in the ink of human audacity and alien hope. The hyperdimensional gambit. The U.S. Prometheus hung in the void, its sleek obsidian hull absorbing starlight. Within its quantum core, Dr. Eiko Nakamura stood before a swirling vortex of impossible colors. Her mind merged with the ship's experimental AI, HFY, Advanced Recursive Intelligence Algorithm. Initiating hyperdimensional fold, Nakamura announced, her voice echoing both audibly and through the ship's neural network. HFY engaged the reality anchors. The A's response resonated in a hauntingly beautiful chorus of harmonics. Reality anchors engaged, Doctor. Preparing to breach the Omega barrier. On the bridge, Admiral Chen gripped her command chair as space-time itself began to warp around the ship. All hands, brace for transdimensional shift. The Prometheus shuddered, its quantum drive howling as it tore a hole in the fabric of reality. Through the breach, they could see the Confederation's Omega Protocol taking effect, a shimmering wall of distorted space-time spreading to engulf Earth and its allied systems. Now, ARIA. Nakamura cried out, initiate the Schrödinger sequence. In that moment, the Prometheus existed in multiple states simultaneously, both inside and outside the forming Omega barrier. It was a cosmic superposition, a gambit that defied the very laws of physics. On Axiom Prime, the Confederation capital, Grand Arbiter Loxara stared in disbelief at the holographic displays. Impossible, she whispered, her bioluminescent skin pulsing erratically. They've weaponized quantum uncertainty. Alarms blared as the Omega Protocol's energy matrix began to fluctuate wildly. The carefully orchestrated quarantine was unraveling, creating cascade failures across the network of reality warping devices. Shut it down, Loxara ordered, panic evident in her voice. Shut it all down before. Her words were cut short as a blinding flash of light engulfed the chamber. Across the galaxy, on countless worlds, beings of all species watched in awe as the sky itself seemed to fracture. Reality rippled like a stone cast into a cosmic pond, waves of probability washing over everything. On New Terra, refugees and humans alike gazed upward as auroras of impossible colors danced across the atmosphere. Children pointed in wonder at ghostly images of alternate realities shimmering in the air, glimpses of paths not taken, choices unmade. In that moment, the universe held its breath. When the light faded and reality reasserted itself, the galaxy had changed. The Omega barrier was gone, shattered by the Prometheus's hyperdimensional gambit. But the effects lingered, altering the very nature of space-time. Admiral Chen blinked, her mind struggling to process the new cosmic landscape. Status report, she managed, her voice hoarse. The Omega Protocol has been neutralized, Admiral. Aria's melodic voice responded. But our actions have had unforeseen consequences. On the viewscreen, Chen saw a transformed galaxy. Wormholes had spontaneously formed, connecting distant star systems. Planets that had once been lifeless rocks now teemed with bizarre alien ecosystems, as if timelines had merged. And strangest of all, shimmering probability halos surrounded many worlds, visible manifestations of quantum uncertainty on a macro scale. What have we done? Chen whispered. Dr. Nakamura's voice came through the comms, filled with equal parts awe and trepidation. We've ushered in a new age, Admiral, the age of quantum cosmos. On Earth in the Oval Office, President Espinosa stood with Ilara of the Lumina Collective, watching reports flood in from across the transformed galaxy. The balance has shifted, Ilara said softly, her ethereal form seeming to flicker between states of matter. The rigid determinism of the old order has given way to a cosmos of infinite possibility. Espinosa's brow furrowed. But at what cost? We've unleashed forces we barely understand. Ilara turned to her, eyes shimmering with otherworldly wisdom. That, President Espinosa, is the greatest gift you could have given the galaxy. For too long, the Confederation sought to impose certainty and control, but life, in all its wondrous forms, thrives on uncertainty, on the freedom to choose, to adapt, to evolve. A holographic projection sprang to life, showing scenes from across the transformed galaxy. On world after world, beings of all species were emerging from hiding, shedding the shackles of oppressive regimes as centuries-old power structures crumbled in the wake of the new cosmic order. You've given them hope, Ilara continued, and with it, the power to shape their own destinies. Espinosa straightened, a look of determination settling on her features. Then we have a responsibility to help guide this transition, to ensure that freedom doesn't descend into chaos. She turned to her chief of staff. Prepare a galactic address. It's time to propose a new kind of union, not the rigid structure of the Confederation, but a flexible alliance of free worlds. We'll call it the Cosmic Concordat. As preparations began for humanity's debut on the galactic stage, a new chapter in cosmic history was unfolding. The age of quantum cosmos had begun, bringing with it challenges and opportunities beyond imagination. In the depths of what had once been Confederation space, aboard the shattered remnants of the flagship Celestial Guardian, Grand Arbiter Loxara regained consciousness. The ship's systems flickered erratically, reality itself seeming to waver around her. As she struggled to her feet, Loxara saw something that made her bioluminescent skin pulse with shock. There, shimmering in the air before her, was a spectral image of herself, but not as she was now. This version stood tall and proud, wearing the regalia of a different office, emissary of the Cosmic Concordat. The title read. The spectral Loxara spoke, her voice echoing as if from across dimensions. The path ahead is uncertain, filled with both peril and promise. But know this, in embracing change, we find our truest selves. As the image faded, Loxara felt something she hadn't experienced in centuries: hope. Back on the Prometheus, Dr. Nakamura worked feverishly to understand the full implications of their actions. Holographic models of the transformed galaxy spun before her, each one more mind-bending than the last. RIA, she called out, run a probability analysis on the new cosmic landscape. The A's response came with a hint of what could almost be described as excitement. Analysis complete, Doctor. The results are fascinating. The quantum nature of the transformed galaxy has introduced an element of true free will into the cosmic equation. The future is no longer deterministic, but a sea of possibility shaped by the collective choices of all sentient beings. Nakamura sat back, her mind reeling. We've turned the entire galaxy into a grand social experiment, she mused. Indeed, Aorio replied. And humanity, as the catalyst for this change, will play a crucial role in guiding its evolution. As the Prometheus prepared to return to Earth, carrying news of their incredible discovery, Dr. Nakamura couldn't shake the feeling that they stood on the brink of something truly monumental. The age of quantum cosmos was just beginning, and with it, a new era of exploration, innovation, and cosmic cooperation. The galaxy, once a chessboard of rigid rules and predetermined moves, had become a canvas of infinite possibility, and humanity, the unlikely artist, stood ready to paint a future limited only by the bounds of imagination and the quantum uncertainty that now permeated the very fabric of space-time. As news of the transformation spread, a phrase began to echo across the stars, carried on waves of hope and possibility. The cosmic dance has begun, and we are all invited to join. The quantum renaissance, in the shimmering streets of Neo-Shanghai, a city that now existed simultaneously on Earth and in a pocket dimension, holographic banners proclaimed the dawn of the quantum renaissance. Beings from 1,000 worlds mingled beneath towering spires that seemed to phase in and out of reality, their architecture a mind-bending fusion of human ingenuity and alien aesthetics. Dr. Aiko Nakamura, now hailed as the mother of the quantum cosmos, stood before a diverse crowd in the city's central plaza. Her image, projected on quantum-entangled particles, appeared simultaneously on countless worlds across the transformed galaxy. "Fellow sentients," she began, her voice resonating across dimensions, "we stand at the threshold of a new era. The quantum renaissance offers us unlimited potential, but with it comes great responsibility." As she spoke, reality itself seemed to ripple around her, visual echoes of possible futures shimmering in the air. Today, we unveil the Cosmic Concordat's most ambitious project yet, the Nexus Initiative. Behind her, a massive hologram flickered to life, showing a network of interconnected structures spanning the galaxy. These quantum nexus points will serve as gateways between worlds, allowing instantaneous travel and communication across vast distances. But more than that, they will be incubators of innovation, where species from across the cosmos can collaborate and create in ways never before possible. The crowd erupted in cheers, a cacophony of alien and human voices united in excitement. Deep in the heart of the Andromeda Galaxy, aboard the living ship Synaptica, Ambassador Zara of the former Confederation worlds marveled at the changes sweeping across two galaxies. The ship, a sentient being grown from a fusion of organic and quantum technologies, communicated directly with her mind. "The humans continue to surprise us." Synaptica's thoughts resonated in Zara's consciousness. Their Nexus initiative could revolutionize intergalactic relations. Zara nodded, her iridescent feathers rustling. "Indeed, but not everyone is pleased with these rapid changes. The Crimson Void cult grows stronger by the day." As if summoned by her words, a warning klaxon blared through the ship's neural network. A swarm of sleek, blood-red vessels had just emerged from a nearby probability halo. Crimson Void attack ships. Synaptica's thoughts rang with alarm. "They're targeting the fledgling Nexus point." Zora's eyes narrowed. "Evasive maneuvers, Synaptica, and send a quantum-encrypted distress signal to the nearest Concordat outpost. The Renaissance will not be stopped by those who fear change." In a hidden chamber beneath the ruins of Axiom Prime, once the capital of the Galactic Confederation, Grand Arbiter Loxara stood before a shimmering portal. The device, a relic of the old order, hummed with ominous energy. "Are you certain about this, Arbiter?" her aide, Vex, asked nervously. "Accessing the multiversal Akashic records is forbidden for a reason. The knowledge contained within, it could drive one mad." Loxara's bioluminescent skin pulsed with determination. "We have no choice, Vex. If we're to counter the humans' quantum renaissance and restore order to the cosmos, we need power beyond anything this universe can offer." With a deep breath, Loxara stepped through the portal. For a moment that seemed to stretch into eternity, she existed everywhere and nowhere. Her consciousness expanded to encompass realities beyond comprehension. When she emerged, her eyes glowed with eldritch knowledge. "I've seen it, Vex," she whispered, her voice echoing with newfound power. "The key to unmaking the quantum cosmos. Prepare the Void Weavers. It's time to rewrite reality itself." Back on Earth, in the crystalline spires of the Cosmic Concordat's headquarters, President Espinosa engaged in a heated debate with Illumina emissary, Ilara, and holographic representations of leaders from across the transformed galaxy. "The Nexus Initiative is proceeding too quickly," argued Tizoth, a hive-mind consciousness representing a collective of gas giant dwellers. "We're already seeing quantum anomalies destabilizing entire star systems." Espinosa leaned forward, her expression firm. "We can't afford to slow down. The Crimson Void's attacks grow bolder by the day. The Nexus points are our best defense against their chaos." Ilara's ethereal form shimmered with concern. "There's more at stake here than just this conflict. The very fabric of spacetime is becoming increasingly unstable. If we're not careful, we could trigger a cosmic collapse that would make the Omega Protocol look like a minor inconvenience." Before Espinosa could respond, a quantum alert chimed. Admiral Chen's face appeared on a holographic display, her expression grim. Madam President, we've detected a massive energy surge from the ruins of Axiom Prime. It's like nothing we've ever seen before. Whatever the Confederation remnants are planning, it's big. Espinosa's jaw tightened. Deploy the Prometheus and alert our allies. We need tow. Her words were cut short as reality itself seemed to shudder. The holographic displays flickered, showing scenes of chaos erupting across the galaxy. Nexus points collapsing, probability halos imploding, entire worlds blinking out of existence. By the cosmic core, Ilara breathed, her form becoming translucent. They've accessed the multiversal Akashic records. They're trying to rewrite the fundamental laws of our universe. Espinosa stood, her eyes blazing with determination. Then we'll just have to write them back. Dr. Nakamura. The scientist's hologram appeared, already working furiously on quantum calculations. I'm on it, Madam President. But we'll need something more powerful than the Prometheus to counter this. What about the nexus points? Espinosa asked. Could we use them to channel the collective quantum consciousness of every being in the galaxy? Nakamura's eyes widened. A galaxy-wide quantum superposition. It's crazy, but it just might work. Every sentient being would need to focus their wills simultaneously. Espinosa nodded. Make it happen. Ilara, can the Lumina help broadcast a message to every quantum-capable mind in the cosmos? The ethereal being's form solidified, burning with newfound purpose. We can do more than that. We can create a psychic link, uniting the galaxy in a single synchronized thought. As preparations began for the most ambitious coordinated effort in cosmic history, Espinosa couldn't help but marvel at the irony. The very quantum uncertainty that had reshaped the galaxy was now its best hope for survival. Send out the call, she ordered. Tell every being in every world, in 1 hour we make our stand. Together we'll rewrite the story of the cosmos. As the message spread across quantum channels, probability halos, and psychic links, a sense of anticipation built throughout the galaxy. Species that had been bitter enemies just months ago now stood united, their differences insignificant in the face of cosmic annihilation. The stage was set for a confrontation that would determine not just the fate of one universe, but the very nature of reality itself. At the heart of this cosmic drama stood humanity, no longer mere observers, but active participants in the grandest experiment ever conceived. As the appointed hour approached, billions of minds across 2 galaxies prepared to synchronize. Their collective will poised to shape the very fabric of spacetime. The quantum renaissance faced its ultimate test, and the outcome would echo across dimensions for eons to come. The cosmic consciousness convergence. The galactic core pulsed with an ethereal light, visible from every world touched by the quantum renaissance. Time itself seemed to slow as billions of minds across 2 galaxies prepared for the most audacious experiment in cosmic history. Dr. Eiko Nakamura stood at the heart of the central nexus, a colossal structure that hovered in the space between dimensions. Her consciousness, amplified by HFY, stretched across the quantum network that now connected every sentient being. Initiating the cosmic consciousness convergence, she announced, her voice resonating in the minds of trillions. Remember, focus on the core principles of our shared reality. Freedom, diversity, unity and harmony. As the countdown began, scenes unfolded across the transformed galaxies. On Neo-Earth, in the floating cities of New Atlantis, humans joined hands with alien refugees, their combined psychic energy creating auroras of impossible colors. In the living crystal forests of Sonora Prime, hive mind collectives merged their thoughts with individual intelligences, transcending the boundaries of self. Aboard the sentient ship Synaptica, Ambassador Zara and her crew linked minds with the vessel itself, becoming a hybrid of organic and artificial consciousness. Even the Crimson Void cultists, sensing the magnitude of the moment, paused in their campaign of destruction to add their will to the cosmic equation. As the final seconds ticked away, President Espinosa's voice echoed across the quantum network. Together, we write the next chapter of cosmic history. The universe held its breath. Then, in a moment of transcendent synchronicity, trillions of minds focused as one. The fabric of space-time rippled, reality itself bending to the collective will of countless species united in purpose. At the epicenter of the convergence, Dr. Nakamura's form began to glow, her consciousness expanding beyond the confines of her physical body. Through her, the combined psychic energy of two galaxies flowed, countering the reality-warping effects of the multiversal Akashic records. In the ruins of Axiom Prime, Grand Arbiter Loxara screamed as eldritch energies coursed through her form. The forbidden knowledge of countless realities burned in her mind, threatening to tear her apart. "No," she cried, her voice echoing across dimensions. "The old order must be preserved." But even as she fought against the tide of change, something within Loxara shifted. Glimpses of alternate timelines, of paths not taken, flashed before her eyes. She saw versions of herself embracing change, leading her people into a new era of cooperation and discovery. In that moment of cosmic clarity, Loxara made a choice. With a supreme effort of will, she turned the power of the Akashic records inward, rewriting not the universe, but herself. Her form shimmered, quantum probabilities collapsing into a new reality. When the light faded, Loxara stood transformed. Gone was the bitter architect of oppression. In her place stood a being of radiant purpose, her bioluminescent skin pulsing with newfound wisdom. "I understand now," she whispered, her voice carrying across the quantum network. "The true power lies not in control, but in harmonious diversity." As Loxara's epiphany rippled through the cosmic consciousness, a wave of realization swept across both galaxies. Beings of all species felt a fundamental shift in the nature of reality itself. The universe was reborn, not through destruction and rewriting, but through a grand synthesis of countless perspectives. The quantum renaissance had reached its apex, ushering in a new cosmic paradigm. As the cosmic consciousness convergence subsided, the transformed galaxies pulsed with new life and possibility. Quantum nexus points stabilized, becoming conduits for instantaneous travel and communication across vast distances. Probability halos settled into stable patterns, allowing for controlled access to alternate timelines and realities. Dr. Nakamura, a consciousness returning to her physical form, gazed in wonder at holographic displays showing the new cosmic landscape. "We did it," she breathed. "We've created a universe of infinite diversity in infinite combinations." President Espinosa, linked via quantum entanglement, nodded in agreement. "But our work is just beginning. We need to guide this new reality, ensure that freedom and cooperation remain at its core." Ilara of the Lumina, her ethereal form now permanently visible across multiple dimensions, spoke with quiet conviction. "The age of quantum harmony has begun, and humanity, the catalyst that set it all in motion, must now take its place as stewards of this new cosmic order." As news of the transformation spread, a galactic celebration erupted. On countless worlds, beings of all species joined in a cosmic dance of joy and unity. Quantum fireworks exploded across the skies, each burst creating miniature parallel universes that collapsed in dazzling displays of light and possibility. In the depths of what was once Confederation space, the transformed Loxara stood before a gathering of her former subjects. "My fellow beings," she began, her voice filled with newfound compassion, "we stand at the dawn of a new era. Let us embrace the quantum harmony and forge a future brighter than any we could have imagined." Cheers erupted, not just from those physically present, but from countless minds linked across the quantum network. The age of rigid hierarchies and enforced order was over. In its place, a new galactic society was taking shape, founded on principles of freedom, diversity, and cooperative evolution. As the celebration continued, Dr. Nakamura and HFY worked tirelessly to stabilize the new cosmic framework. Quantum equations of mind-bending complexity flowed through holographic displays, each one representing a fundamental aspect of the transformed reality. "We've done more than rewrite the laws of physics," Nakamura mused. "We've created a living, evolving universe that responds to the collective will of its inhabitants." Aroya's response came with a hint of what could only be described as awe. "Indeed, Doctor. We have turned the entire cosmos into a grand experiment in participatory evolution. Every thought, every action, now has the potential to shape reality itself." As the implications of this new paradigm sank in, a sense of both excitement and responsibility swept through the linked minds of trillions. The quantum renaissance had succeeded beyond anyone's wildest dreams, but it had also placed an enormous burden on every sentient being. In this new reality, where thought could literally shake the cosmos, the power to create or destroy entire worlds lay within the reach of all. The challenge now was to wield that power wisely, to continue the dance of cosmic harmony without falling into chaos or tyranny. As the grand celebration began to wind down, President Espinosa addressed the United Galaxies one final time. "Fellow sentients, we have witnessed a miracle of cosmic proportions. But our journey is far from over. In the days, years, and eons to come, we must work together to nurture this new reality. Let us use our newfound power not for personal gain or domination, but for the betterment of all." Her words echoed across the quantum network, resonating in the hearts and minds of countless beings. As the first day of the new cosmic era drew to a close, a sense of infinite possibility hung in the air. The quantum renaissance had reshaped the very fabric of existence, and at its heart stood humanity, no longer mere observers, but active participants in the grandest experiment ever conceived. The cosmic dance had entered a new movement, and every being in the universe was invited to join in its intricate, ever-evolving choreography. The multiversal nexus Odyssey. As the dust settled on the cosmic consciousness convergence, a new era of exploration and discovery dawned. The transformed galaxies pulsed with quantum potential, beckoning humanity and its alien allies to push the boundaries of what was possible in this reborn cosmos. Dr. Eiko Nakamura stood aboard the USS Prometheus II, a vessel that defied conventional understanding. It was less a ship and more a mobile slice of reality, capable of traversing not just space and time, but the very fabric of the multiverse itself. Initiating multiversal fold, Nakamura announced, her mind directly interfaced with the ship's quantum core. HFY engaged the reality anchors. The A's response came as a symphony of harmonics that resonated through the very atoms of the ship. "Reality anchors engaged, Doctor, preparing to breach the walls of our universe." As the Prometheus U prepared to return home, carrying news of their incredible discovery and intervention, a new chapter in cosmic history was unfolding. The quantum renaissance had transcended the boundaries of a single universe, blossoming into a multiversal enlightenment. Back in their home reality, the news of the Prometheus U's journey sent shockwaves through galactic society. Debates raged across quantum networks. Were they gods now, with the power to shape entire universes? Did they have the right to intervene in other realities? What if there were hostile multiverses out there, jealous of their power? As the discussions continued, a new initiative was born, the Multiversal Concordat, a framework for responsible interaction with other realities. Its founding principle, to nurture quantum potential across the multiverse, guiding young universes towards harmony and enlightenment, while respecting the unique path of each reality. President Espinosa, addressing a galactic assembly, summed up the new ethos. "We stand at the threshold of a new frontier, vaster than we ever imagined. Let us move forward not as conquerors, but as cultivators of cosmic possibility." As the speech concluded, Dr. Nakamura gazed out at the quantum-entangled stars, her mind alive with visions of the adventures to come. The multiverse beckoned, a grand tapestry of realities waiting to be explored, understood, and, when necessary, gently nudged towards their highest potential. The cosmic dance had become a multiversal symphony, and humanity, once a small voice in a vast universe, now stood ready to conduct an orchestra of infinite realities. The multiversal Nexus Odyssey had only just begun, promising an eternity of discovery, challenge, and wonder. As news of the Prometheus-T's journey spread, a phrase began to echo across quantum networks and psychic links, capturing the spirit of this new age. To infinity, to eternity, to realities beyond imagining, the greatest adventure awaits. The stage was set for a new era of cosmic exploration and responsibility. Humanity and its allies, armed with the power of quantum harmony and multiversal awareness, stood poised to shape the destiny not just of one universe, but of the entire cosmic tapestry. As the first teams of multiversal explorers prepared for their journeys, the sense of anticipation was palpable. The quantum renaissance had unlocked the doors of perception and possibility. Now, it was time to step through those doors and embrace the infinite wonders of the multiversal frontier.